Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at some news from Lost Thunder. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got new details, we've got new information. I say we, I am referring specifically to the lovely Matthew Varive, Immunity, over on Twitter, who, as well as being a very good friend of mine on Pokemon Go, we are getting towards best friends. We've already made it to Ultra, I'm pretty proud of us. He has also been very nice and friendly in sharing a bunch of information about Lost Thunder. We know what the theme decks are going to be. We know what some of the promos are going to be. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's time to have a look. So we'll start off with the theme decks, because I know a lot of people are often very interested in the theme decks. And you can see from this lovely image on the screen right now that the theme decks are Entei and Raikou. For anybody asking, some people did say in my Raikou video, hang on a second, you used to say Raikou, why are you now saying Raikou? Because I've found out that it's supposed to be Raikou. I'm not terribly happy about this. I'm not a huge fan of this, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. So, do we like this? I mean, it's kind of funny. I made this point in a couple of my videos that we finally got Suicune GX. Entei and Raikou, they had their GXs ages ago. We finally got a Suicune GX. It's not very good. And in the same set, Suicune gets a GX and is supposed to be running around going, yeah, look at me, I finally got my GX, boys, I'm so happy. Entei and Raikou not only get other cards that are arguably both better than Suicune, but they even get to be in the theme decks. Although you've got to love when there is a little bit of a theme to the theme decks. So here you've got the legendary beasts, or at least the legendary beasts that aren't GXs. So I kind of like this. Like how we got Swampert and Sceptile previously, and we didn't get Blaziken because that was a GX. And now we've got these two, so that's pretty good. Are they the best non-GXs in the set? Like we've seen in previous sets? Possibly not, but they are kind of interesting. The Raikou we looked at the other day, I'll pop a link to that one in the description. It's only got one attack, but it does 120 damage if you've got a lightning energy in your lost zone. And although in my video the discussion was spot on and everything was right there was a small typo on the screen. I wrote Pokemon in the Lost Zone, not energy, just to confirm it is definitely energy. Although I did make it quite clear in the video that was the case. And then of course we've got Ampharos coming in the set as well, who's got an ability whereby if you put 2 lightning energy in the Lost Zone, automatic paralysis. That's pretty nice, and obviously there's a combo that writes itself with Raikou here, in that you paralyze with Ampharos, then you've got an energy in the Lost Zone. And then of course you're doing 120, and honestly, we're getting Thunder Mountain in the set, which will reduce the energy cost down by 1 lightning. We're getting Counter Gain in the set, which will reduce the energy by 1 colorless. If you're behind on prizes, both of them together will make the attack free. Plus, we've got Counter Energy, which will pay it by itself. It's not that expensive, and 120 for 2 energy, or potentially less, is awesome, especially in a format where we've got Shrine of Punishment, so non-GXs can hit the numbers more easily than ever before. As for Entei, the Entei video, for those asking, got taken down. I made a silly mistake with the calculation. It needs a very quick re-edit, and it will be back up very, very shortly. And the best thing about Entei here, for 2 fire, 1 colorless energy, discard the top card of both players' decks. It does 60 more for each energy card discarded in this way. Now, we'll go through all the calculations properly in my video when I've got far more time to do so, but you get the disruption of discarding the top card of your opponent's deck. You've got Makago from Celestial Storm, which lets you put whatever card from your deck you like on top, guaranteeing that you will have an energy on top of your deck, and you can hit pretty good numbers here while discarding the top card of your opponent's deck. There is a lot to like about Entei here. So, I'm in favour of these theme decks. I think they're good. I think they're nice selections. I mean, with the theme decks, you got to think about a couple of things. Firstly, in terms of competitive players, you want to put good Pokemon in, like we saw previously with stuff like Empoleon and Garchomp. But then again, they're not really for competitive players, they're for new players, players learning, etc, etc. And they're for kids. They're designed to try and get people interested in the game. The whole point of them is to make people go, "Ooh, Pokemon, that sounds like fun. And by putting these two legendary beasts on the theme decks, I think that is incredibly sensible. We will, when the theme decks come out or when we have an image of the back, I will, like I always do, bring you a video looking at the contents of the theme decks. The last few have been very, very good. Wassie's got high hopes. Now, we also have some images of the 3 and 1 pack blisters. The 3 pack blister is coming with an Alolan Executor promo with alternate art. And I like this Alolan Executor, to be perfectly honest with you. 160 for a stage 1 is huge. And then 1 grass energy, 20 damage, plus 20 more for each type of basic energy in your discard pile, up to a maximum 120. People have been making this work. I did a video a little while ago about an Alolan Executor deck that was doing quite well, and I brought you a deck list and all of that. It did very well at Madison Regionals. I'll pop a link to that one in the description, but it's a surprisingly good card. I'm kind of a fan of this, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, you've got the energy in the discard, but you're doing 120 for a single energy on a stage 1. That's pretty good. And let's not forget that in the new set we are getting Zeb Striker. Zeb Striker's got an ability, and Zeb Striker will be one of the very best cards in the set. The ability says that once during your turn you may discard your hand and draw 4 cards. That's going to be really handy for discarding some of these basic energy. Now, we are losing Professor's Letter, which does kind of suck, but there are ways around it. But to be perfectly honest with you, Zeb Striker does make this a bit better. Now, given that we did see Macargo and Oranguru in the theme decks in the previous set, does that mean we might see Zeb Striker in the theme decks in Lost Thunder? I can do nothing but recklessly speculate, but given what we saw in the previous theme decks, I think there's a very good chance that we might. Now, the 1 pack blister is not quite as interesting. Now, we expect 2 of each of these. We've only seen official images of 1 of each, so I will, of course, update you when we get the other. It's a Rowlet. Yay. I mean, look, Decidueye was big for a while. And when Decidueye was big, we could get really excited about which was the best Rowlet. But ever since Forest of Giant Plants got rotated, we've not really been particularly interested in Rowlet at all. And I know that sounds really cruel, right? And I'm sorry. I don't mean to be down on Rowlet. Rowlet's adorable, okay? I have no big issue with Rowlet. It's just, at the moment, we're really not seeing any play whatsoever for Decidueye. Now, as for the promo, you can't quite see it from this image, but this is a Japanese promo that came out a little while ago. It's got 60 HP, which we don't have a 70 HP Rowlet. And for a grass and a colourless energy, 10 damage, flip a coin. If heads, it does 40. On the one hand, that's actually really good. On the other hand, if you're putting 2 energy on this, things aren't going well. You can pay it with a counter energy, but don't. Just play the 60 HP Rowlet that does 10 damage for 1 energy. At least you might eventually be able to get something from it. And the last thing we really have here is booster pack images. You can see here a very, very clear image of the Blacephalon booster pack, which is very, very nice. In the booster box here, you can see both Lugia and Zeraora. And we don't have a clear image of the Celebi booster pack. It is unfortunately covered by the Alolan Executor in this picture. But the good news is, if you have a look at the display here, these displays go out to some shops and they've got both of the theme decks and a bunch of booster packs. You can see here you've got the artwork for all 4 of them at the front, so we can see the Celebi artwork there very nicely. I'm not one to get hugely caught up on booster pack artwork, but I will say that the Celebi is adorable. But I'm going to be honest, until you bring me like a Mamoswine or a Donphan or a Beware pack art, I'm not going to be terribly excited. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some news about Lost Thunder. I did do a video about Lost Thunder and how it's going to be the biggest set ever. I'll drop a link to that one in the description. Do make sure you go and check it out. It's going to be a very exciting, giant set. And I, for one, am very excited to see what actually comes out of it. But I want to know from you guys, are you excited about the theme decks? Are you excited about these promos? Are you excited about the artwork? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but remember the rule. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.